Hello, my dear artist friends. Many of you have been asking me, is the Johnny Depp People's Award Artist Contest legit, or is it a scam?
You know what fascinates me about artists? Not the paintings, not the installations, not the performance piece where some trust fund goblin duct tapes himself to a wall and calls that post-capitalist grief and an installation on the intercollective gathering of the art market. What fascinates me is how artists suddenly become economic philosophers the second somebody asks them for money publicly for fundraising, for charity. Because apparently now a fundraiser with a voting system is now a scam.
For charity.
The art world has always been patrons, money, social circles, collectors, elite networks, visibility, fundraising. The Renaissance had patronage. Warhol had patronage. Basquiat, dealer ecosystems. Art Basel, corporate sponsorships and billionaires wearing ugly sneakers. Especially those ugly Balenciaga things. I don't fucking get it, but I'm a queen and I'm evil and I'm bitchy.
You know what I know? Art.
Oh, well, why don't you shut your hoe ass up?
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Henry Haight. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and this is a channel where we talk about all things art, creation of art, my tips, tricks, chains and whips, madman ramblings, yada yada yada. Thank you for coming. Welcome. Hello everybody, what's up?
What up? What up? What up is your cholesterol, bitch?
You voted for me. Thank you. That's awesome. If you paid to vote for me, I'm sorry. This thing was a scam.
Oh, look at her hair.
Blood was all over the place.
Today's topic is a little controversial because if anyone who's on social media has seen that there is a contest called the People's Artist where people who have applied are promoting these charity fundraiser. Now, throughout this contest, there have been several bones of contention. Some people saying, oh, you're buying votes.
This is a pay-to-play fundraiser.
You're buying, it's a popularity contest rather than an actual art contest. And the controversy of Johnny Depp, and I'm not going to get into the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, he said, she said, believe all women, and I digress. The thing is that, lo and behold, there's been this significant posturing with specific artists of, oh, this is a scam, oh, I'm withdrawing, therefore, all these things. And we are going to cover the difference between a charity fundraiser and an actual art event where you apply and you pay to be considered. Now, a lot of people are saying that the People's Artist Contest is not an actual art contest because, one, it's doing information farming, it's run by a for-profit organization, XYZ, Johnny Depp, celebrity endorsement, no, I'm not going to ask people to vote, and I'm withdrawing my name. Now, two things can be right at the same time. Yes, they are asking you to vote, and at the same time, it is a fundraiser. Let's get one thing straight. This is not like applying for the Venice Biennale or the Whitney or virtually the Turner Prize. Now, these type of events are gallery backed and supported and sponsored, which are big money, and they bring prestige. But at the same time, the irony is, because this is actually the winner gets $25,000, an article written about them in Artforum, which is considered a respected magazine. And the Art of Elysium is a nonprofit that has been running close to about, I think, a little over 20 years now. And here's the truth. The art market and the art world are very similar in senses to fundraising. Now, is the People's Artist asking you that you can donate or buy votes? Yes. However, that money a portion of it goes to the charity, the Art of Elysium, which is a nonprofit that does art therapy and all types of art salons for people in hospitals, the elderly, the terminally ill, with programs in music, fashion, theater, and the visual arts and creative writing, whatever, to get their minds off of these things and the healing power through art. Now, the controversy with Johnny Depp. Again, you know, like, oh, he's a movie star, he's not an artist. Now, that being said, Johnny Depp has had an art career, and I've seen his videos and his artwork hanging in the UK at Castle Fine Arts, which is a gallery chain that also represents Ronnie Wood and a few other celebrities, as well as fine art visual artists. Is that bad? No. But here's the thing. There's a difference between a charity fundraiser and, you know, applying for the other art fair or trying to get a booth at any, because one, you have to pay an entry fee. If you're going to a gallery, you have to virtually pay an entry fee plus a media fee. So artists are taking this gatekeeping stance of, oh, this is not a real contest, it's not curated. But here's the thing, it levels a playing field for anyone to apply, because one, first and foremost, it is a fundraiser. Now, Colossal, who's running or organizing this on behalf of the Art of Elysium with the People's Artist, is known for doing other contests, like something about Mother with Inked and Heidi Klum and Jamie Lee Curtis. You know, they, with all charities, they need some sort of celebrity pool or backing to further legitimize their fundraising. And with the art world, when they do art galas to raise money for, say, a specific wing to extend, they need celebrities, or as Adina Monsoon says,
Everybody is there. Everybody. Big names, you know. Chanel, Dior, Lagerfeld, Givenchy, Gaultier, darling. Names.
it is an industry standard that virtually they raise funds for the arts, because with everything right now in the world, things are being cut / pulled, and this administration giving zero fucks about art, and virtually the art market kind of being in the toilet. Galleries are having to rethink things. Now, that being said as well, there are pay to hang galleries, and these also are on the rise. Now, my issue with the type of artist that says, oh, this is not a real contest, or it's a scam, there seems to be this, especially in social media now, it's like, oh, scam, this is a scam, art school's a scam, scam. And all I have to say is, how about you scam my nuts? With a little butter and a feather. You know, it's just like, it's easy to write something off to elevate your standing and whatever. But the fact of the matter is that this charity has done work in the past to help people in virtually their mission statement of trying to art therapy. Now, on the flip side of that, yes, you are essentially donating money for votes and to help to assist your friend, your favorite artist, whatever. And if we were to go back 500 years to 200 years, it was quite commonplace for an art patron to sponsor an artist and its atelier with money so that they could continue the work and do good of promoting the arts. But because this is backed by a company for profit that is on the behalf of a nonprofit charity, where I imagine 30% is going to the Colossal and the rest to Art of Elysium and the People's Artists on behalf of the people Art of Elysium. Who's being hurt here? The significance that people are like, oh, they're farming information and stuff, while they're on a platform that is known for mining and selling your information. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Meta. Give me a fucking break. And I think I've said this before, as an artist, you need to look at the bigger picture. And it is up to anyone to sit there and go, will I do this? Will I not? And I think one of the things that I find interesting is that it's easier to write off something and give yourself a bit of a sanctimonious grandstanding to position you higher, then, oh, I'm not going to slum it with these people who are just, is you cheat yourself out of an opportunity. And if you look at the article prize for in art form, that roughly would be about, I would say, 15 to 20 grand in column inches, showing your art to the world. Now, Mark Mothersbaugh, who is also backing this, is a prolific musician. He changed my life when I saw him as a 10-year-old watching them on SNL, Devo, and it changed my life because I'm like, what is this music? But Mark Mothersbaugh is also, once again, a prolific visual artist and musical composer who is backing this charity. And several other artists to virtually give it some grit and some traction. Now, if these people who are taking this grandstanding, yes, they cheat themselves out of the 25 grand and virtually an article in art forum and the possibility of showcasing their artwork in the Art of Elysium, one of Art of Elysium salons or benefits. Not to mention, they cheat the very people that the charity is helping. Bottom line. And it's like, oh, it's a scam, but yet if you're going to want to showcase at the other art fair, you better pony up about $1,700 just for, a 7-foot wall. If you want to hang in a gallery, you're probably going to spend about, I think the average is about $150 for 2 square feet in a gallery for a week or a month, whichever. On top of hanging, framing, stuff like that, these things start to add up. And the fact of the matter is, the art world has an infrastructure where there is a pay to play, but it's called, entry fee, media charge. If you want to show an additional photo on top of your entry fee, they only normally give you 1 or 2, but if you want, or per work, and you want to show 3 pictures of one particular work, that's an additional $5 to $10 per artwork. And these things start to add up. It kind of pisses me off because, one, these people need to pull their stick out of their asses, like, I aspire to be a blue chip artist, when in fact I think a lot of their work is either shoddy or at best decorative. And I'm not saying this is a dig to like, but it's just, who's kidding who here? And the People's Artist is taken in fashion designers, jewelry makers, and certain people, even jewelry makers, going, I'm not going to show my, but is it art? Now, to those that actually do choose to engage in this contest and do the fundraising, they can take the route of the traditional getting their sponsors, or is that one artist, I forget, the one that does the whale over the road. Make that make sense. Oh, you're buying votes. No, you're not buying votes. You're actually raising money for an actual charity. First and foremost, the money, a portion of it is not only going to Colossal, but it's going to the Art of Elysium, and which benefits their charity of art therapy for other people. And it gives people who are novices, intermediate, beginner, and professionals to decide whether they want to engage in this contest or not. And who is it hurting? That's the truth. Who is it hurting? If you don't want it, just pull your shit and just shut up. Who cares? But the fact of the matter is, the art world will always need celebrity endorsement, fundraising, patronage, and virtually, some sort of paywall to virtually keep the lights on. That is the truth. And because someone doesn't feel that it gives them enough stature, that they've been anointed, and this is a thing that a lot of artists on social media think that they are the next person who's going to be anointed, that somebody is, art collector is going to come out through the clouds and anoint them as the next best big thing. And with the figures, only 3% are fortunate enough to virtually catch the brass ring. But a contest like this gives any artist, leveling the playing field, hope. And here's another matter of truth. That anytime you walk up to a blank canvas, you're saying, what if? I don't know. What if this is a good piece of work? What if this is shit? I don't know, but I'm still going to try. When you apply for an entry fee into a gallery show, there's still that what if. When you apply to an art fair, doesn't mean you're going to get it, but there's still that what if. And with this contest, there is a huge fucking what if. Now, would I love 25,000? Yes. Who wouldn't? But for me, the press and art form would be the real prize, because that would open me to industry. Now, I know with this company, Colossal, yes, they are handling this on behalf of the charity, but lots of fundraisers are handled by charities. But for some reason, because of this kind of aligns their ducks in a particular way where people are like, I don't know, is kind of silly. And at the same time, you know, they're like, oh, this charity is going to like, or People's Arts is going to keep my or have intellectual right to my artwork. Whereas, what is the actual likelihood of the People's Artist or Johnny Depp trying to sell your artwork on a t-shirt or anything, really? Because most lawyers who write up these kind of content, this is just industry copy speak to protect them from anything. If they can use your artwork to promote it during the contest. When I submitted my work for a Portrait Artist of the Year, they had a particular clause that they could show my artwork on. I don't necessarily have to be in the contest, but they have the right to use my painting to promote on the opening credits and signage during the show. And I'm like, well, what is the harm of that? There's this internal fear of exposure that eventually artists cut their nose off to spite their face. And I think that's the biggest component is fear. So therefore they go, well, you know, this is not a serious contest. If Mark Mothersbaugh sees my artwork and a buyer or collector sees my artwork in a salon and I get a representation through being exposed on or written up in art form, that's a fucking major win for me. As opposed to go, no, this is a scam. And the money that I've raised through my patrons who've virtually donated, rather than didn't buy my votes, they donated. Okay? First and foremost. Thank you, Pookie, Adam. If it wasn't for your husband, I'd probably but Eddie, Tilly, Andrew, oh my God. Like, you guys rule. But this is the thing. If you use your social media and you believe in your work, what's the harm? You're raising money for a good cause and you might win. On the flip side of that, and, you know, it's better to bitch inside the circle than it is out of it and say, oh, this, because someone is going to win that fucking prize. And yes, I would fucking elbow a little cunt in the eye socket to get ahead. I'm just saying that. I am competitive there. But yes, and where's the harm? However, you know, Maria, Brophy, the Hello Art friends are saying, oh, don't enter this contest, just
create an art show.
You know, make an art exhibition. That also costs money. And here's a little tidbit and nugget of information. If you want to rent a space, you're looking roughly for a week, you're probably looking at about anywhere from $2,500 to $3,800 for, say, maybe a 900 square foot retail space to show your work for 5 to 7 days. Then you've got to buy your wine, your soft drinks, any kind of, you know, hanging materials, your catalogs. Shall I go on? You know, it starts to add up. And it's one thing to just say these out there and virtually not think them through. But I think that for the people who've actually put their money where their mouth is, I give them props because, one, they've actually jumped that first hurdle by showing their work. The novices, the artists, and some of the artwork may look bad, but some of it I actually like. Would I buy most of it? Probably not, because it's not my stuff. But who cares? Or as that woman said with the whale in the road,
you're setting up people to waste money to try to help you. Artist Daniel Fried worded it this way, and it is spot on. This is run on a group structure rigged to manufacture urgency.
Let's have a look at Daniel Fried's art. seems the only sense of urgency is that homie needs to urgently put on some clothes. But that's a fact. She doesn't care. So why would it fucking matter? If she doesn't care, she cared enough to put a video on it and elevate her standing to, oh, I'm a serious artist. That's shit. So, you know, if my patrons and my people who follow me on social media or YouTube vote for me and they give someone $2 or $3 extra bucks, little drops in the bucket make a big difference. And, you know, when I did charity, I asked particular artists to help me back a fundraiser for the Amy Winehouse Foundation. Now, I curated particular artists that I thought were really cool and virtually that would go complement each other. Some artists said yes, some artists were fucking absolute dicks, but the ones that said yes, you fucking rule. And through that contest, or through that exhibition, it was essentially 12,385 pounds. I remember in my head because I had to do the figures for the 7 days that we did this. That is the catalogs. This did the catalog, and we did food, wine, beer, with the whole shebang on 4,000 square feet, and we ended up raising close to 68,000 in the 7 days through art. And it went to people for the Amy Winehouse Foundation. So, you know, if they want to raise money to help kids and elderly people who need assistance or take their minds off of things, so what?
Bottom line is, it's not illegal.
Where's the fucking harm in that? And to the person who says, I'm going to enter this contest and dream, congratulations. That's part of the process. And to the others, pull the stick out of your ass. You know, you're not fooling anybody, and I don't buy it. I could really go in, but it's just like, if you don't care, great. Fucking keep walking. Let the others get on with it. So with that, I'm going to shut up and leave it alone. So I thank you for watching. If you can, hit that notification bell for all updates and stuff. And thank you for watching again. I appreciate it. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is an actual fundraiser, or do you think this is a scam? And do you agree with me or disagree? Let me know. I'd love to hear the feedback, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care of yourselves. Be kind, or try to be, and keep creating. Take care.